It's the fourth pickup coming out for Keen Gaming, and I mean it has been very popular recently. The Naga Siren. Now you always complain about the Naga. You just don't see the point of it because it just farms up constantly, and then really doesn't have anything to do in the late game. Like, because the problem is, right, you need to secure somebody down for her to just keep right clicking. And the problem is, she, apart from her ensnare, she doesn't have any other ability to do that. Um, Mind you, you have the Sanking Jakiro who can hold people down pretty nicely, but I don't mind it too much, John. With the Naga Siren, you have the song set up into the Ice Path, into the Burrow Strike Epicenter. I feel like this could work out pretty well for Keen Gaming.
I mean, it definitely could. And I'm not saying it's a bad pick here. It does come out often when we watch these qualifiers in China. It just tends to come out this combination, and Typhoon responds with Necrophos. I think that's a really good response to the Naga. You do have ways of dealing with that innate tankiness as she goes on, and just cut her down to about half, maybe slightly less than half HP. Reaper's Sight, and late game, she's not going to be an issue. So I like that response from Typhoon. It ensures them pretty good time as well, and it's going to be really nice in lane in combination with that Drow. You're just going to have a lot of a better time. Just much more attack speed for the Necrophos makes it easier for him to stack up the last hits and denies, which in turn increases his survivability with his aura, of course. So it's a strong way of synergizing with that Drow, and definitely worthwhile here for Typhoon.
Well, one more ban. We do see the Storm Spirit once again being banned out, and that makes sense again. When you have a Drow, get rid of the Storm Spirit. Typhoon. Speaking of the Drow, by the way, and I don't wish this to happen, but you would think with the Drow pickup, you think we'd see more Arc Warden picks, wouldn't you?
5 seconds remaining.
Yeah, and I believe in the last game that was the reason for Arc Warden coming out. It's a great counter to that Drow. We saw it in effect, of course, in that high ground push.
No, no,
The
no.
Flux.
I'm talking about in conjunction with the Drow.
I mean, you could make it work, but I think it's more common against the Drow. It tends to be the priority because again, that magnetic flux on a ranged against a ranged hero just kind of makes it hard for them to hit anything because they'd have to walk in. So it's much better against than with. Of course, you could work it with the Drow, but remember how greedy an Arc Warden is.
No, I'm aware.
Just keep that in. Yeah, that's basically it. That's why you don't see them together. It's way too greedy.
Well, Typhoon, they'll go for the last pick Leshrac, which is much less greedy. And it does look like a pretty solid lineup the Typhoon are running. I've got to say, I do prefer Keen's one a little bit more. I feel like they've got some pretty nice setup and some pretty nice control on their end of things.
Definitely so. Look, like as you mentioned, they have great setup with that song for the Jakiro to land all his spells, the Sand King as well to get a nice epicenter burrow strike, the Doom maybe to get a stomp in the middle of everyone, and all of this ties in quite well. They just need something down mid that really maximizes that. I want to say the OD could come out again, and honestly, I think that would really just tie this entire draft together and take us back to last year.
Well, 30 seconds left of reserve time for this final pick, and still plenty of options to go as well. You wonder what the option here is for the King Gaming side, though. Gonna tick down all the way, it seems.
Okay.
They'll go for the Ember Spirit, so that's the hero that they needed to really break the distance against the Drow. Fair enough. Overall, do you feel like Typhoon... I don't know, I don't feel Typhoon's draft as much as I'm feeling King Gaming right now. I feel like Typhoon just... It's good, it's a Drow strat. It's good, but there's just too many ways to catch them out. Like, they might have a good start with the Leshrac and the Undying and the Earthshaker, but King Gaming overall, like, once you hit that mid game, assuming King Gaming didn't have the worst early game in the world, Typhoon should really struggle against this draft.
They definitely should. I think the one thing that makes me worry with Typhoon's draft is, again, that Undying. It's just such a wild card. It's not too common in the scene right now. It's had its talent shifted out to the point where I feel like its power timings are wonky at best. It's just hard to work around. Yeah, because the level 20 talent is now Tombstone Undeath, and level 15 is when you get the decay and zombie damage, and you can't actually get Tombstone Undeath and Tombstone Attacks to Destroy anymore. I don't remember if that was an option before, but just having it at level 20 by itself just means that your mid game is really weak. Like, let's face it, Undying was strong because he could just afford to suicide, have two tombstones up, and that turns a team fight. But now that timing is way off. By the time you're 20, two tombstones would be very easy for a core like Nagasiren to eat through.
Yeah, that's a very fair point. Not to mention the fact that getting to 20 on an Undying is already hellish enough. A lot of these supports never make it to that point. They never get the level 20 mark. They just hover around between 15 to 20, if they're lucky. But let's see how this one goes. It should be a fun one to watch. Keen Gaming versus Typhoon, our last series of the night. I believe it was Keen Gaming. I mean, I'm having a look at the score right now to see what's going on in the groups right now.
It's two draws, so I'm actually starting to think this won't be our last series of the night if tiebreakers will be held, because I'm not sure how that one is going to be called out.
Actually, there's 3 draws right now, John. I mean, in terms of the groups, like literally everyone has.
Yeah, it's 1-1-1 draw each, and if this series goes to a draw as well, then it's just a draw for everyone.
Let's do it all over again.
I'm just wondering how this will work out. I'm sure they have something. Maybe something like match times, or I don't think head-to-head helps because it's a draw. Like they've all literally gained win and gained a loss each against each other. So I maybe match times will be what settles it. You know what? We could ask the admin in the next game. I think that would be a fair solution.
A good idea. Yeah. Nevertheless, let's watch this game for the moment. We'll ask later on, see what goes on there. Like, both lanes this time around, or both rune spots, I should say, are going to be contested, it seems. Other games, we've seen both teams just kind of settle for their own rune spots, but not this time. In gaming, then we'll go ahead and secure the bot one, so old chicken. Almost thought he went AFK for a second there. He does allow KU to pick one up. That will be 3 to the side of Typhoon, 1 to the side of Keen Gaming. So they will start off with a slight disadvantage in terms of gold on Keen Gaming's end. Meanwhile, Fonte going to find Kaka very early on with that Drow Ranger. Shout quite a bit of harassment out of Kaka as well.
Yeah, it's, again, one of the issues of that Doom is no early armor, and with no stout shield, you really don't sustain too well against ranged cores, so something you should expect when you are playing this Doom on this position.
Mid lane, of course, Ying going to be up against AQ, and this really doesn't favor the Ember Spirit whatsoever. We saw this matchup earlier today as well, and the Necrophos just wins out every single time. Just no real contest.
Yeah, it takes a while to start going, but the Necrophos does have that innate sustain. Again, you know, once he has that level in Heartstopper, of course, just get last hits to stay in lane, or get denies to stay in lane, and it's just kind of a snowball effect built into the hero. The better you do in terms of farming, the better you sustain in the lane, and it's just snowballing in that way.
Odd 11 will get forced to TP out of that top lane. Did, of course, put a sentry ward down to make sure he couldn't just sit in Sandstorm and creep skip the whole time. While bot lane, you see KU and Guevara up there up against Old Chicken. And of course, they do also have Dark down there as well. They don't exactly have the best ways of stopping the Nagasiren from farming in this lane, it seems. Guevara can't really do that job himself, and KU, he's an Earthshaker, right? He doesn't want to get close to the Nagasiren. probably going to be bad news for him. Or at least you have the Echo Slam. Then you'd like to walk in range, but for the moment, looks like Old Chicken just going to have a good old time.
Yeah, and this is certainly a very good start for the Naga Siren at the very least. Just having pretty much free farm on bot lane means you are gonna start accelerating pretty quickly. I think the key thing for the Naga early on are levels, because that's what you really need to start clearing out jungle camps as you go on, so already set to have a pretty decent ride until level 4. That's when we start seeing the Nagas really dip into those camps every now and again.
Faith actually in a lot of trouble right now. Kaka gonna continue the chase onto this Undying. He's thinking about a Roshan deny attempt, and he keeps playing around with the fog. The Rosh will not find it. Kaka, he will actually take the aggro off the Rosh, even though Faith was the one that hit the Roshan. Does end up finding the first block. Now AQ actually gonna cop a fair bit of damage from that Infernal, though. Kaka will not risk playing around with this Necrophos. Back off the safety.
Yeah, and again, that's already a nice rotation coming out from Kaka early on. That's a surprisingly successful use of that pack leader's aura as well. Usually you see, again, that Hadouken coming out for the most part for early ganks.
And he will go deny himself off to the T2 tower. Meanwhile, mid lane, they do look like they want to make a play here onto Ying. They did wait till he moved a bit more forward, and now KU gets a nice Fisher block off. Ying cannot go through there. He just stands there and starts right-clicking. It looks like he thought maybe they could turn it around. Kaka came in, but as a Doom, there's really not much you can do.
Yeah, there's only so much you can do. You only have 2 levels in. Your damage isn't quite that high yet, so he just manages to maybe punish just slightly, but really not getting anything in return. The one saving grace for Kaka right now is that he does have his phase boots up, so that's a very early pickup on him, and that does enable him to apply harass a bit better.
Gonna roam up top where Faith is there on the Undying. Let's start off with the Infernal Blade, and now the Burrow Strike as well. Faith maybe going to be able to survive. He does have the Decay going, but no, the body blocks are way too nice from Old 11. He does actually heal himself up. Now, though, Infernal will connect. In fact, it wasn't an Infernal Blade. It was just a crit coming out from that aura. And with that, it's going to be a 2 for 2 now.
Radiant's bottom tower is under attack.
And again, pretty decent start so far for both sides. I would say it slightly favors Keen Gaming. Their greed is not really being punished as much as you'd expect. In fact, they are being rewarded for having Kaka just roaming around so early on.
Like Kaka might get punished, but no, he has the Scorched Earth. Of course, it makes him run a lot faster. He's able to just escape from those frost arrows being thrown out from Fonte. Well, it looks like mid lane again, KU going to try and set up here onto Ying. Ying about to hit that level 6 mark though, and you do see Dark as well. He'll rotate over on that Jakiro. Make sure KU can't find a nice Fisher on his Ember Spirit. At this point anyway, like once he hits level 6, there's no real fear of him dying to this Earthshaker again. Still, I guess you never really know with the Reaper side, though Old 11 top lane will end up falling. Kaka going to be chased down as well, but again, he can just run pretty darn quickly and he'll be alright.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate to lose that Sand King that way, of course. Old 11 would be definitely a bit happier without dying there, and you know, his farm isn't too bad. 21-1 compared to the 29-14 from the Drow. All those denies are kind of starting to stack up though.
Again, KU looking to set up mid lane. Again, remnants are available now on Ying, although he's falling quite low and he does dodge the Fisher. My goodness. Not sure if you call that reactions, but well, he runs straight back into KU. That's not a good idea. KU gonna make a chase now. Doesn't have another Fisher available, but does have Enchant.
Radiant structures
Yes, however, and with that, it looks like it'll be enough that Guevara can rotate in on the left track with that Diabolic Edict, and they will go ahead and try to claim a very quick T1 tower. Though there is a rotation coming in from Kaka now. He wants to protect this. They won't be able to finish the job off. Although, KU does get a nice Fisher off. Guevara still going on with that Diabolic Edict. Kaka actually falling quite low now. Faith, Reaper Scythe comes in. They do find one. Faith gonna go for more. They've already taken the T1 now, and well, this is the thing, right? With the Drow lineup and with the Greed lineup like the side of King Gaming have, I mean, you can really take down these towers quite fast.
You definitely can. And again, that tier 1 mid was pretty crucial for the side of Keen. I have to say it's much more important in this game than it usually is, because you have heroes like the Naga Siren who needs to farm fast, you have an Ember Spirit who needs early TP access points on the map, and now that mid lane is just a bit more open, just a bit more vulnerable to these already aggressive rotations from Typhoon.
Fonte, say hello to Old 11. They will rotate in Faith as well, though he doesn't really have a nice way to lock down Old 11. He's just going to Burrow Strike out of this. It's one of the other things about an Undying support pick, right, is you don't have a natural stun or root to hold someone in place. It does just mean that Fonte pretty much has to just settle for farming. He can't really commit to these hero kills.
While all that is happening, though, that bot lane is being taken.
It is very easily as well. Guevara there with the Diabolic Edict. Does point out the Fortify for most of that Edict, though, so that is one thing for Keen, but in the end, he is going to be able to creep skip fairly easily with AQ. That tier 1 tower is also again going to go down, though. Top lane, they do make a jump onto Faith. An Undying, he's pretty tanky. He has no items on this Undying right now. Literally nothing. But I suppose that's what a position 5 Undying does.
Yeah, it's a really selfless role, and all you really need as the Undying is going to be EXP to be effective. Even then, in the middle of team fights, maybe get a couple of the K-stacks on. Not too many, but a couple of the K-stacks, drop the Tombstone, and you're happy.
Ying will find a nice kill there onto Guevara. Just punishing him for going for that tier 1 tower, and does have to commit all the remnants for that kill, but it's perfectly fine. Still, we're only 9 minutes into this game, and already 2 tier 1 towers have gone down for the side of Keen, so they've got to be very wary of that. Typhoon definitely not messing around this time.
Yeah, it looks like Typhoon really understands the timing of their draft, the power spikes as well. So they just know that they can take these towers early, and you know what? If it gives them a bit of a lead, why not?
Arca gonna actually break the smoke rotation that was there from Guevara and Cat U, though. They're still gonna end up finding Dark, although Fisher ends up missing. Ice Path will be there. Dark is just gonna waste as much time as he can. He will end up losing his life. Now Old 11 gonna be chased down. He will be able to Burrow Strike his way out, but that's going to be the third outer tower, or third tier 1 tower going down for the side of Keen if they're not going to defend this, and it doesn't look like they are. Old Chicken, he'll just keep farming up on that Naga Siren, but they do find Old 11. He does Burrow Strike his way out of that one as well. But Guevara now has the Diabolic Edict, and that is going to be another tier 1 tower. Dark tries to come in to delay this with a Jewel Breath, but it's not going to matter at all.
Yeah, and you see the map slowly shrinking for Keen Gaming. It's not that bad yet. They haven't lost any tier 2 yet, of course, but just how far they can go in the jungle is severely limited now.
Radiant structures are fortified.
Like, Jing gonna walk in by himself. The Fisher was there to block anyway. Cat U. Things are going pretty well here for Typhoon. Like, it is starting to look like their game to lose. Now, mind you, they are still up against a Naga and a pretty potent draft. So they obviously realize that if they need to take these towers as quickly as possible to gain this map control advantage. But still, if they keep this up, I don't see the Naga being able to catch up in time. Like, they're going to be able to catch another one out. Kaka, he commits the Doom off onto the Leshrac. He's going to lose his life anyway because the Pulse Nova was still going. And now Dark going to try and find a trade, but it looks like he might end up going down. They send Ying in, and in fact, Faith may end up losing his own life, though. No, the Naga song comes out first. Let's hold him in place. Well, they found another. The Earthshaker Cat U was there, and Echo Slam does end up coming out. AQ, Reaper Scythe as well onto Ying, but it's not going to be enough. Old 11 going to be able to turn this one around surely with another Burrow Strike onto AQ. He's still a pretty hard target to go for. I believe they will eventually find him. The epicenter comes out, and Snare is there as well, though Fonte does have a nice gust, but the Ice Path will hold him in place long enough that now Old Chicken may end up going down. Faith runs back in Guevara. He'll find the kill onto KG's Ying. Dark as well will end up losing his own life, and now Old Chicken again going to be chased down here by the Typhoon side. Though can they actually catch him in time? The answer will be no. Be able to run off it just in the nick of time.
Yeah, again, a pretty topsy-turvy trade from both sides, but in the end, slightly favoring Typhoon. They don't lose out on that Drow, of course. She just kind of comes up, cleans up, and Fonte already, again, having a pretty great start to himself. Not as amazing as the Naga, but the Naga does kind of clear camps as kind of faster. You know, she can split her attention as well quite nicely. Compared to the Drow, who can only clear one camp at a time. But that is kind of to be expected, so a pretty decent start enough for Typhoon, but it's not like Keen Gaming is tapering off at all. It's fairly even, all things given.
Radiant are scanning.
Just waiting to see where Typhoon plans to go next. And again, they do obviously know that they can't let this drag out too long against a Naga Siren. Then again, Old Chicken is going to be slowly getting out of control if they're not too careful here. It's like, where do you go next though? Like the tier 1 towers, yeah, they were easy enough while you had a Leshrac. They clearly haven't taken enough map control though, because the side of King Gaming are in their own jungle. Just kind of taking farm off the Dire side.
I think at this point, they're going to have to really commit a few heroes to constantly roam and find those pickoffs, although top lane.
Gonna go after Mara on that Leshrac though. He'll be fine, he'll TP out in time. Fonte will TP in with a double damage rune mid lane. Old Chicken ends up finding Faith. On his way down, I guess. In fact, they're going for more. Ice Path is there from Dark Cat Yu. Commits the Echo straight onto the Naga Siren. Old Chicken is gone. A 1-for-1 trade, I suppose, but the Naga Siren losing his life is a pretty big deal, and now Typhoon gonna move their way into that Roshan pit. Dark is gonna be there to delay things with the Ice Path. It's not really gonna matter, however. Guevara will move in with the Diabolic Edict, and now Ying trying to get some vision on that Roshan HP. Wonder if he will go for an Aegis steal here. Doesn't really have any remnants to throw out, however, and it looks like they're just going to have to let it go. Meanwhile, the backlines, though, Dark has been cornered by Faith, and now Guevara moves in. They got the Aegis off onto AQ as well. The old 11 was trying to go for something on that Sand King, but doesn't get there quite in time. And that's probably the answer they needed here on the side of Typhoon for those tier 2 towers. Just that Aegis required, and now they can move in and try to take even more map control.
It does simplify the process, makes it a bit more low risk, and in fact they're still gonna slightly push forward, but they are gonna get that chip damage off onto that tier 2 and probably take it out, unless they opt to play a bit safe, which again we have seen time and time again, but looks like...
Nice double chains. Ice Path macro as well. Now Old 11 jumps in. They are trying to take that Aegis out. AQ doesn't really have much mana to play with on this Necrophos, but he is still so darn tanky. And it looks like it will not matter. They will keep going. And I believe that was the right play there from the side of Typhoon. With that, they'll go back, start defending their own tier 1 tower, though it is already gone. But if they can keep this up, Keen Gaming, they will not have enough time to be online.
Yeah, again, Keen Gaming's draft requires a bit more time really to come online. You're playing with Naga Siren. You're playing with an Ember Spirit as well, who, if going physical, really takes some manner of time to gear up. I believe that smoke was under a ward again.
Old Chicken. Well, that's an awkward position right now. Cat U's right next to him. They do not realize he's there. It's such an unfortunate thing. If they just walk slightly to the right, they would have noticed. And now they do. The illusions come out, so they know he's in the tree line somewhere. KU gonna move in with the Echo Slam just in case. And they'll get the Split Earth as well. And that's another massive pick here. Although, oh, Song will not protect from the Pulse Nova. That'll mean another tier 2 tower probably going to be going down for King Gaming. I don't see them defending without that Naga Siren.
Yeah, even if this Naga was back up, there's no song, so there's no real good setup for that team fight, which we talked about. You know, they kind of rely on that for these big fights. Getting everyone lined up, getting that song out in time, and lining up your Mac, lining up your Ice Bat.
Mid lane, there is a push going on. The Guevara, they will catch out. Can't you? Oh no, perhaps not. Old 11 will be able to walk out of there and we'll be fine. Meanwhile, top lane, there is a push going on there as well, though. Fonte is set up to try and defend. He will get started with the Gust onto the Doom. Let's do a hell of a lot of damage as well, but the TP will make it in time. And it looks like, of course, Ying will also be able to get out in time as well.
A bit of a shame there for Typhoon. Of course, those kills would have been pretty good, but Fonte did have to react there, otherwise the tower would have taken a bit too much damage. So not really finding the punishment there, but at least staving off that early push from Keen, who are trying to find control again on the map. It does help the cause. The one issue is that I was going to say they had pretty good wards in the enemy jungle, but they did just lose at least a sentry. They're not going to find the Ob, so that's still a pretty nice opening for Keen Gaming. They could exploit that hole in map
control. They found Ying. Mid lane, he gets caught out by the Reaper's Scythe of AQ. Now with the top lane, Old 11, going to be spotted out by Faith, and now with Fonte there, they'll just silence him up, and he's got nowhere to go. Does get Hurricane Piked as well, and it's just a very easy kill, and with that, you're looking at another tier 2 tower.
Yeah, and that's going to be all the tier 2s out from the game if Typhoon does opt to commit on that tier 2 top. And you just completely lose out on the map for Keen Gaming. We talked about this from draft, but it does take a while for that Naga to come online, and without the map to farm from, you can't really build up.
They will go ahead and take it. I wouldn't blame them for going for a tier 3 as well. They've still got a bit of time left on that Aegis. Even if they don't have the Aegis, AQ is so tanky on that Necrophos right now. The top of the net worth is Fonte on the Drow. He's actually beating out the Naga Siren. They do Crimson Guard up the tower, but that's not going to last too long. And it does look like it's going to be a very early tier 3. So they are backtracking a bit. AQ falling low, still has the Aegis available. Burrow Strike will not connect, he will mech up. They do have the initiation available from KU as well on the Earthshaker. He does have a blink, but instead they are going to back off. They are going to try and get those bannerings and perhaps even find our old chicken. But no, they found KU instead. Snare will be there, and that should be an easy pick off for the side of King Gaming now, and they will get it. Faith getting caught out as well. Bit of an awkward position for him to be there, but looks like he was on a bit of a warding run before he got to that point.
Yeah, and two nice clean pickoffs for Keen. I almost expected our Earthshaker to drop that Echo Slam, but KatQ instead holds out. A bit more patience there. Probably wouldn't have found the kills anyway, so much wiser choice saving that for the next big team fight. That does give King Gaming a bit more time to farm up. Again, you still need to build up on this Naga. All you really have is the Manta and the Fusel, and that tends to not be enough for the most part. Like, you definitely require a bit more to come online on this core hero. So, again, just buying a bit more time here for Keen to work out.
Still, the side of Typhoon definitely do not want to allow this time. We'll see when they opt to make that next push up the high ground. I imagine it's going to be when they pick up another Aegis. If they pick one up, because King Gaming probably understand they can't afford to give the secondary Aegis and cheese away to the side of Typhoon. Otherwise, they're just going to lose a Rax or maybe even two. There will be a smoke coming out from the Dire side now. They find somebody to catch out. It looks like it may be Old 11 on that Sand King. They will. The Fisher will be there. KU will blink in with the Gust as well from the Drow, and that'll be a nice, easy pick-off onto Old 11.
Yeah, and again, just finding these single target pickoffs for Typhoon and slowly but surely taking over this map is really the name of the game for them. Just managing to shut out that jungle, make sure it's not safe for the heroes on Keen's side to farm up, although Old Chicken has still had a pretty good time in terms of farming, all things considered. Matching the Drow, overtaking her by about 100 gold, so you are still seeing a lot of value from Old Chicken's Naga Siren. It's just not ready for that man fighting yet.
Well, he has been pushing out that bot lane pretty successfully. He's done a lot of damage to that T3 tower now. Fonte does run his way up eventually, but this is something the Naga can just keep doing, even if he's not that farmed up. He can keep sending these illusions in over and over again. You're always going to need someone there to defend from these pushes.
Dire are scanning.
AQ. Looks like he's going to be going for an Aghanim Scepter next on that Necrophos, so it's going to be nice for him to have such a low cooldown on the Reaper side, as well as the added damage, but Ying, KG, what are they up to? Like Ying has the Maelstrom, but that's what he's had for a long time now. He's fallen quite behind in net worth. I suppose this does go back to the fact that they have a Naga Siren though. So much of the farm is just taken off the map.
Yeah, it's one of those heroes, right, that just soaks up every resource on the map. We saw that in the last game with the Arc Warden. This time around, it is the Naga Siren. And a whole bunch of other heroes just does the same thing. They take up the entire map, they occupy it, clear out all the jungles by themselves quite fast, and leave no room, really, for your teammates to breed in. So it does feel like Keen is, slowly but surely, putting all their eggs on good old Chicken.
Old 11 gets caught out here. Yules is there from Guevara. Now Split Earth. It will connect, but he got the Burrow Strike off in time. And that should mean he's able to walk out of there safely. In fact, he will just go for the TP play. It's like both teams, again, just waiting for that Roshan. It is going to be up in about 50 seconds. The Typhoon. Going to go for a quick smoke attempt now. King Gaming, though, in a position where they shouldn't really get caught out too easily. It's like Old 11 has been spotted out, and Gust will come out immediately, but the blink is there. I mean, the smoke's pretty obvious now. The rest of the King Gaming boys just dissipating ASAP. Batteries are coming up as well, so they're in a nice position to pick those up. They found somebody. It looks like they have spotted out Kaka on the Doom, so that'll be another nice pick off for the side of Typhoon. And they will be able to claim this fairly easily. Though again, King Gaming immediately pushing out that bot creep wave. Gonna start pressuring that tier 3 tower. And this is going to force another defense from the side of the Dire. Well, it has to anyway, otherwise it's going to lose it.
Yeah, you can't really leave this lane alone, just with how aggressive the creep cutting has been for Keen Gaming. So they are definitely stalling out with that technique, and stalling out quite well, because Typhoon has still not been comfy enough to try to take these fights.
Oh, Ying, massive mistake from him. He remnanted to the wrong remnant. Not often you see that, but it does happen once in a while. Just a bit of a misclick, and he does pay for it with his life.
Yeah, and that's gonna be, rather unfortunate. He's not gonna be able to respawn early because of that Reaper's side kill. At the same time, he's probably not gonna want to expend a buyback, so he's stuck in a bit of an awkward spot where he'd rather not be dead, but he doesn't want to buy back for basically no fight. Doesn't look like they are set to take any sort of fight, except maybe Roshan.
Oh, it looks like they are going to be able to find Faith in the Undying just from these illusions from the Naga, although no, it's not going to be quite enough, but they do end up leaving him with about 100 HP. That'll be enough for AQ to heal him up pretty much the whole way, and they are going to go straight after the Roshan now. The King Gaming are set up for this. They have a Song, they have a Burrow Strike, they have an Ice Path. A lot of abilities to keep them pretty low on HP in this Roche Pit if they're not too careful. Ice Path is there to set up. Gotta be careful though. Cat U, of course, does have the Blink Echo available as well, though now Macro Pie being thrown out. And looks like that's gonna be enough for the side of Typhoon to just back out of that pit. Though it may mean Keen Gaming go and try and swipe it themselves.
Yeah, I mean, they definitely have the tools, at the very least, for the Roshan, and they have a great set of toolkit for working at Roche Pit in the 5v5 as well. But it looks like they are kind of satisfied just keeping their eyes on it, making sure that if Typhoon does go in, they will be punished.
Old Chicken now does have an Eye of Skadi available on the Naga. I wonder what he opts for next.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Typhoon, they continue to try and rotate into this Roche Pit, but the Naga Illusion is going to keep eyes on them. Although, Dark gonna get jumped on though. No, Burrow Strike will be there on Faith. Gus does connect on the Sanking at least. And now the Fisher from Cat U. But there's the Macro Pie coming out. Now the song to stop all this happening. Although there is a BKB on Fonte, so he wants to keep attacking. The Doom comes out, however, Ice Path is there as well. Guevara trying to turn around on Karka though. Epicenter Burrow Strike comes out from Old 11. The Reaper Scythe. They will find the kill. A 1-for-2 trade, however, Typhoon, they've lost 2 heroes already with no buybacks available. It looks like Guevara, though, is going to continue the chase on the Ember now. Ying going to be able to walk out, it seems. Guevara, he's out of mana. They lose KU as well. He commits the Echo Slam, but it's all too late. And that's going to open up the Roche Pit now for Keen Gaming if they do wish to go for it.
Yeah, it would be a fairly easy rush to take. Once again, you have a massive amount of time where Typhoon is 2 heroes down. They won't have that Echo Slam when that Shaker is up as well. So, again, you just don't have too much to worry about going into this rush, but it does look like they will kind of play it conservatively and try to find more kills, though.
Yeah, they'll go after AQ. They can find these kills. It'd be pretty darn nice for Keen Gaming, giving a great lead. They do get the dieback off on the Undying, and now they will find AQ as well. Can they find the final hero? Yes, they can. Guevara goes down. That's going to open up the tier 2 tower for them. They might even go for a tier 3 after this as well. At least try and force out those buybacks from the side of Typhoon, but a bit of stubbornness there from Typhoon, just trying to go for that Roshan for so long. Of course, Keen Gaming did have a great lineup to fight in that Roche Pit. This is just going to cost them a racks. No buybacks coming out either from Typhoon. They're just going to hold out. Keen?
I mean, there's no Echo Slam, there's no Reaper's Sight even when the Necroforce is up for at least 10 seconds.
That's a very strange back off. I mean, there's 2 heroes that haven't brought back. You had time to do it. I agree with your sentiment.
Player. It's just conservative play, and it definitely feels like it's way too conservative, but I can see where Keen is coming from, right? They want to take this game late anyway, why take the risk? When they can just play it safe, back off, come back later.
Fair point. We'll give Typhoon a bit of an option to, you know, it would have caused a bit more struggle for them having that mid-racks down, but I suppose the tier 3 is enough. It opens up all the shrines, and they do get one of them already. There's only one outer shrine left for the side of Typhoon. I mean, at this rate, like, the Naga is hitting very, very hard, and Old Chicken is going to have a hard up very, very soon. So I suppose you probably are right in the points you're making, John. They probably just aren't afraid of that late game. There's the hard up. Now, Old Chicken, he has 4.2k HP now. Be a rather hard target to burst down, and of course, they could opt to go for the Roshan attempt. I mean, it is still available. They are going to go for it. I don't see how Typhoon fight into this, though.
I mean, they have the Echo Slam back up and Cat U, so they should be able to contest if they wanted to. I'm not sure if they are completely aware there was a ward.
Typhoon just gonna wait around that Roche pit. Very patiently waiting for Keen Gaming to make a mistake this time around. They do pick up a full Mjolnir now on Fonte. So he's gonna be able to clear out those Naga illusions a lot easier. And in all honesty, this is one of those games where you wouldn't be so surprised to see an Aghanim Scepter come out of the Drow. But still, Snare will be there on AQ, but he'll Guardian Greaves it off. Ice Path now as well, connecting with the macro. Where's the follow-up though? They fish it to block the way off, but Ying jumps straight into the back lines. They want to go after Guevara, but they get Faith instead. AQ still so low, they will song up. Fonte, Ice Path will not connect on Fonte, but they got AQ. The Epicenter burrow in, and now the Echo though. It comes out from KU, but it is not going to be enough, or is it? Guevara comes in with the Split Earth as well. They'll get Dark. Can they find anybody else though? Old Chicken, he's dealing so much damage to Guevara right now. The Yules will come out, but they have found him with Old 11's Burrow Strike. Guevara is dead. What do you do now? Do you go for the Roshan? Do you go for the Rax? It looks like the Rax is the answer. They do have buybacks available in Typhoon, however. Surely they expend them for this.
Yeah, they definitely have to if they want to hold on to this Rax. If they don't, like, if they've already assigned it, I guess you can make the argument it's not worthwhile. We'll see if Keen does opt to keep pushing. Okay, they buy back.
Yeah, KU jumps in with the Fisher. Now, Zamora is there as well, though they are about to lose their Earthshaker, and now he's gone. He can, of course, buy back, and he does do so. Kaka, he's going to continue moving on to Guevara, and he will BKB TP out. He will make it in time. They do force out the buybacks. Did they even finish the racks off? It doesn't look like they did. They only got a range racks out of that, but still, you get the buybacks out. You're going to be happy with that, although you won't be happy with losing Old 11 here, and looks like he won't even have the mana to TP. In fact, he will blink out. Guevara's still making the chase. Won't be successful in doing so, or Old 11 will be able to walk out of there safely, and it looks like they want to set up for a Roshan attempt now.
Yeah, again, that's the safer play here. You have superior team fight in that pit, you have the song up, and it should be a very straightforward take here for Keen Gaming.
They really don't take the Roshan very quickly though, and that might be just a problem. Like, Old Chicken, he gets started on the Roshan, and then just kind of lets it go. And he's going to run into KU now, and this is a very easy pickoff for him, but he's going to throw that and snare out. The AQ now is here with Faith as well. I don't actually believe they have the burst potential to take him out though. He will just walk out of there. Now Ying walking in. The rest of the team, not even around them at the moment. They are going to get started though. Doom is there onto the Drow. Kaka jumping in onto Faith. They will be able to take the Undying down. It looks like, and well, KU not going to be so lucky either. He goes down as well. He's the secondary to go down for Typhoon. Now the song comes out, Old Chicken. He found a very nice one at that. The Ice Path is going to be there to set up for this. And well, BKB will come out of Guevara. They've got to fight this. They don't have many buybacks left. It looks like they will lose the Naga, however. Reaper Scythe. We'll get the job done. AQ gets caught out with the chains. Ice Path will be there from Dark, but where's your damage going to come from? Epicenter, they're going to jump back in. Infernal Blade there as well. AQ falling very low, but Ghost Form is there, and he will heal himself up. They still want to fight this though on the side of Keen Gaming, and it looks like they might actually find AQ. But no, he will be able to walk out. Guevara, he'll find another kill onto Kaka. He misses the Split Earth on the Jakiro though, and he'll be able to TP out of there. The 22 to 22 now.
It's fairly even on kill board, but still a net worth lead for Keen Gaming, and what looked like a pretty good fight to take just doesn't turn out that way. They lose too much HP on that Naga, and again, that Reaper's Sight. When it's up, you just put it on that Naga, no matter how much HP he has, as long as you drag them low enough, it's gonna be a kill.
Well, Roshan now getting taken down, but a lot of damage being dealt to Typhoon, and now the buyback comes out of Old Chicken. They're still going to try and snipe this Roshan, but the Ice Path again. Roshan. Oh, it's been stolen. The Aegis. Old 11 grabs it. Oh, that is terrible news for Typhoon. They're going to go for this fight. The song's still going on from Old Chicken. Now the Ice Path comes down onto 3. They're forcing the BKBs out of the side of Typhoon. They miss the Split Earth. They get the Fisher off anyway, though. Old 11, he goes down. Still, he grabs the Aegis, and that's just going to be pretty damn good for him. He denies it off the side of Typhoon, and that's feels like that's really all they wanted.
Yeah, it's definitely all that Keen Gaming wanted, to take that tool away from Typhoon, and that just means Typhoon is going to be stuck in a hard place now. Like, they definitely needed that Aegis to take more objectives off the map. Now they just kind of have to play defensively until the next Roche comes out. Maybe if they want to, they can venture out, but it certainly doesn't feel safe. Their wards are only by that Roche pit. That's the only place they can really see. And beyond that, the map is completely dark.
That Aghanim Scepter, by the way, was the pickup from Fonte. So, he has a very nice way of clearing out those illusions now. Also has a very nice way of defending high ground.
Yeah, it's basically like a souped-up Medusa in a way right now. Okay, so he can just kind of hold high ground forever. And you know, once he picks up some more damage items, it should be much, much faster as well to farm up.
I bet at this point, you know, if you're on King Gaming side, you probably really wished you went for that mid-Rax. You had the chance, because it's gotten that much harder now. We do end up in a bit of a stalemate. Like, there's a 6k net worth lead on King Gaming. That kind of means nothing, though, because we are 39 minutes into the game. It's not going to be easy to actually find the sign of Typhoon anymore, either. Like,
yeah,
they're probably going to play very safely.
It's at this point where you really want to see Keen start to give farm priority onto Ying. But again, just Naga Siren doing Naga Siren thing. There's no way for Ying to play catch-up. Not, at least not any way fast enough. And, you know, you've pretty much reached the peak of your Naga Siren. You really need your Ember Spirit to catch up now, but there's just, again, no room.
Typhoon, they're going to move forward. They do get an Ice Path and Macropide though, and now an Old 11 just trying to get out of there. There will be Guevara moving in with the Shiver's Guard, and now KU, he'll find the Sand King. We'll get an Echo Slam for that. Aeon Disc will keep him safe though. Looks like eventually he's going to go down. He does. No TPs coming in from King Gaming.
I didn't expect the Echo Slam there. Like, that definitely felt like a bit of a waste. Like, sure, you secure that kill. I don't think that Sand King was going anywhere anyway.
No. Definitely didn't feel that way either. I mean, this is just a really strange stalemate, right? Because you look at both sides and you kind of think, how are they going to actually breach?
It almost reminds me of that last game. What's the win condition? Once again, we go back to that point. You're reaching a point where Old Chicken is indeed becoming a monster in terms of itemization, but we saw it in that last fight. Previously, it's just with that Necrophos on board, all the HP in the world that you get doesn't matter. Like, you will melt down to half, maybe slightly less than half your HP. Necrophos drops that Reaper's Sight, and you're just dead. You don't have anything like the OD to shield you away from that sight. You have nothing like a Shadow Demon as well. So you're always just gonna cop. And it's gonna be rough if, you know, if they get caught out like that again. AQ is just still going to be really relevant throughout this game.
Well, Typhoon again, they are trying to apply pressure. Not going to be easy though. Again, these Naga illusions. Got a butterfly up now on the Naga as well, so the illusions just got a bit more hard to kill as well. We'll smoke up. They are going to get their smoke broken, and they do find the Yules off onto the Sand King, though he gets the burrow. It probably won't be enough this time around. Aeon Disc has been procced. Ice Path is there, however, and catches all three of them. In fact, that was 4 heroes. Now with the song, they're looking to reset. Burrow Strike is there. They want Faith gone, though he force-staffs himself out, and he will survive. Because it was AQ. Like, no, it was Guevara, perhaps. But nevertheless, no heroes die. King Gaming, they're going to hold the high ground. They will smoke up. Typhoon, they really, really want to breach this high ground. Cat U, see if you can get an initiation off. They do get the Doom off onto the Drow, and again, they jump in. Ying going to do a lot of damage here on that Ember Spirit with the Epicenter from Old 11. It's just way too much. The Reaper Scythe will come out and clean one up, but the buybacks are coming out of absolutely everybody. Now, the complete massacre as well in this team fight. They'll lose Cat U on the Earthshaker. The Ember will just get out, and there's a bit of lag right now as well. Dark, well, he might take down Guevara, or he may die, but he will get to Guevara before he dies. A triple kill is there on Ying. Now they want AQ as well. The Burrow Strike is there on the Necrophos, though you do see the buyback on Fontaine coming in handy. 3 versus 3 situation, and it looks like Typhoon are going to back off.
Yeah, they did kind of lose out a bit more there. It definitely feels like Keen did find a better exchange. Sure, they expended a buyback on that Sand King, but they forced out 2 buybacks from Typhoon, and they found 4 kills overall, so definitely a very happy time for Keen. Turns that they do indeed still have the tools to get the work done in this game. It's just that they definitely have to maximize all the setup they have.
It's currently 5k gold on Old Chicken right now. I'm wondering what he's planning to buy. I mean, obviously he can go for the Moonshard. Makes enough sense, but go after that. Like, pick up a Boots Travel, maybe. Just
Dire's courier has been killed.
right, courier going down. Because the Naga illusions in the mid lane, which managed to snipe it out. There was an MKB on that.
Yeah, it's not going to be a good time for Fonte. I mean, losing on that just kind of slows out the damage output again on this Drow. And they need all the damage they can get. It's starting to feel like the Naga is getting a bit too big, at the very least, in terms of bursting her down. If you don't do it fast enough, AQ just can't commit the scythe. He has to drop in someone else to ensure that the rest of the fight works out to your favor. So, you know, you have to be able to man-fight that Naga Siren fast enough, drop them to a low enough threshold, and get AQ to target the exact one to secure that kill, and then turn that team fight to your favor.
Keen looking to set up for a Roshan, it looks like, but the Roshan will be up in about a minute 20. Still a fair bit away. So both teams are slowly making their way around that Roshan pit. Gaming just gonna hold their ground. Meanwhile, Naga Illusions underneath the T4 towers. Old Chicken getting way too confident with the illusions apparently. Typhoon Need to initiate Cat U. He picks up a Shadow Blade now, so he can have that wave blinking in. He's gonna spot out Old Chicken, thinking about the Fisher, but ends up cancelling it off in the end. Roshan, 20 seconds away now. Like Ying is just going to start committing to pushing out that bot wave. Perhaps trying to force back the side of Typhoon. Smoke will come out as well now. Gaming. They will jump in. Burrow Strike is there. Fisher as well, though. Ice Path and Macro is nice. They found both of them in that Ice Path. They burst down Fonte immediately on that Drow. AQ now just trying to back off safely, but Old Eleven's got the control. They've got the Ice Path as well with the Spirit Vessel on AQ. It should be more than enough damage, surely, though no Guardian Greaves will keep him alive. But now the song just lines them up perfectly for Old 11 and the Ice Path as well with the Epicenter Burrow Strike coming in. It's just way too much damage for Typhoon. They've lost 2 now. Will they lose another? Faith is falling very low, though. Old 11 still alive and will end up dropping eventually. Meanwhile, Echo in the backline just on the Naga Siren. AQ ball back throughout all this. The Old Chicken is still very, very healthy, but now being surrounded, the Reaper Scythe will find him in the end. Ice Path as well coming out. Kavara, he'll buy back. He wants to try and get AQ on this Necrophos. In fact, no, he's going to go after Kaka and will burst him down. Ying is the one trying to go after AQ, but won't be successful in doing so because Cat U is there to make sure he's protected. AQ, full HP, moves forward, does find the Ember Spirit, though the buyback is there immediately from the Ember. Now Guevara falling low, and it's going to be a dieback on the Leshrac if he does go down, and he does. The only man left is AQ, and this will be another dieback on him if he ends up falling, and it looks like he will. A full team wipe coming out for the side of Typhoon. No buybacks available. That theoretically should be the end of the game.
Definitely should be. They did draw lines across as well. It looks like Kaka will just start in those racks, but after that, I'm sure it's going to be straight to those tier 4s. In fact, yeah.
There we go.
There you go. Yeah.
Well, that's game 1 on the books, John. Game 2 will be coming out very soon.
I mean, that was a very prolonged match, but we did talk about taking it late against the Naga Siren. Even the Ember Spirit also can scale up. And to fairness to Keen Gaming, they maximized that setup. They made this lineup work. Sure, the fights were few and far between, but when Keen Gaming got that setup, they just managed to clean up nicely. So props to them. And if Typhoon do make a draw in game 2, Mike, I don't know how that tiebreak works. We gotta find out, man.
We're about to find out. I'm gonna go ask an admin from StarLadder, find out what would happen if there was 3 draws in every single series. Nevertheless, guys, we'll let you know in the next draft. We'll be right back in just a moment for game number 2. It is MLPDotA and johnxfire, and it won't be too long for that next game. Be right back.